What do you think you're doing there, Missy? What? Got your face. Got your face.
Police was violence against unpeaceful protesters, and they changed it to force.
How was that convention on Tuesday?
Quit looking at porn.
Bragging about being part of the Oval. I'm like,
You want to see porn?
No, no, no.
Report backs. That was pretty cool announcement section. One thing to check. Do you know what we mean when we say temperature check? You might not.
That was
If you, when we say temperature check for an idea or what we might discuss next, high level support, I'm okay with it. Low level, but I'm not gonna. I won't stop it and then like, hey, you guys can't do that. So starting, we'll list them all first. We have direct action, finance, communications, supplies, which is currently basically getting people's stuff back. New location, media, magazine, local political engagement, legal, food, health and wellness, view of Occupy, facilitation, web, and we've just suggested one as of the last meeting called Facebook for facilitating things on Facebook.
Good.
Yeah, the revolution is all spreadsheets. Spreadsheets and phone calls and meetings. So direct action, those are the objective is planning demonstrations. Do you have anything to add to that? Anyone involved in direct action? Does that sum up your current objectives?
It's happening in several Canadian cities, and it's in solidarity with other Occupy movements. And I was surprised to see the webpage today that Halifax is not listed. And I've spoken to a few people today because I just heard about this today. And yeah, it seems like a few people would be interested in organizing, finding speakers, maybe getting a drum circle going on, and maybe having a few dancers. So we're going to try that.
And we're John here.
So finance actually, well, me and Dave and Eric was there too, kind of watching. Finally get together and we got to go through all the lovely receipts that we actually do have. As we told people, I don't remember which meeting it was at, one of the GAs from the other day, we let people know that, you know, during the eviction process, a lot of people's floats and things were just taken and thrown in the back of vans, trucks, U-Hauls and things like that, and it's been trying to track them down, find out where they went. We haven't been able to do that. However, Dave went through adding and subtracting all the income and receipts we did have, and as it stands, actually, we're only about $90 missing discrepancies that we can't account for at the moment, which isn't bad considering there are floats of hundreds of dollars out there. So we're also aware that we're missing certain receipts, and Dave's misplaced one or two that he's looking for that he knows he has somewhere, so that number may go down as well. So as it stands, I think we're at just over $6,200 total after the eviction and all the sorting. At the end of the day, we've got $6,200 in the bank account to work with still, so we're doing all right. The only issue that we're having is, again, the number of people that are asking for money for reimbursements, and some of those are falling under, a lot of them are falling under the $50 mark. But then again, we don't know who all these people are necessarily, and some of the people that took stuff know, say for example, they know Kelly and they know Oral, but they don't know James and they don't know Ian or they don't know me, so we're not sure how to proceed with this. So pretty much we're not going to be giving out any money unless it's GA approved or someone has official receipts that we know came for cleaning up Occupy mess.
And what media's trying to do is actually produce things. Information, maybe just posters and pamphlets, but make stuff like the magazine is an example of an item of media that's being produced, and it's sort of its own thing now, but
That works too.
I thought media produces stuff.
Kind of going to say the same thing. Without anything that's producing media, there isn't really anything for media to do. I mean, Wiseman is still posting videos of things like this or other meetings that he happens to be at or small functions we happen to be doing. But I mean, if we're not in the media, it's hard to produce media. Research on MLAs and council members in regards to first how they, to gauge their feelings on how they feel towards the Occupy movement as a whole, towards Occupy Nova Scotia specifically, and then the third topic of the eviction that happened on November the 11th. That information was split up between 4 or 5 of us, and we were each supposed to post our findings to a Google Doc, which is available through the online forum under the political subgroup, which is under direct action, I believe, but not 100% on that. And it's semi-complete as it stands. Someone beat us to the punch with the council or members, but I've put up my MLAs, and I think the idea is to get a feeling on where to move and which people to approach to seek out some sort of assistance when it comes time to looking for like a location or some sort of backing. Outside of that, Brian hasn't planned another meeting. I thought he was going to be waiting for this meeting, but he's not here, so I don't know. So I'll contact him and I'll post an update on the forum. I know Howard Epstein has really been promoting us a lot on his website and in the legislature, so I mean, just to give you an idea of what the working group was trying to come up with ideas, but we could use that and coordinate with direct action and try to maybe kind of have some sort of rally on the front lawn of the legislature and have Howard Epstein come down and help us maybe set up the tent symbolically on the front lawn for the day and protest. I mean, that's just one of the ideas that we've been throwing around, but it needs to be discussed further.
Get everyone in touch with a lawyer, filing complaints, monitor other occupied court cases, look for precedents, and sort of monitor the political situation in relation to the law. As for the other category being status at the moment, I'd say active, fairly organized, looking for new participants, we're not starving for them. I think we're going along pretty well. I have a lot of stuff on my computer that I need to get out through our various networks about how to connect with lawyers, how to, and we're still gathering contact information, and of course everyone's conditions if they were arrested, and any stories about abuse by police that they may want to file a complaint about, or just sort of in general, any legal situations they want looked into. So that's where we are. I think we're going pretty strong at the moment. We don't have a meeting scheduled for this week, but I believe Friday will basically involve a meeting. There aren't many other times given the other meetings scheduled for this week, so we may not meet again until the following weekend, and I'll post that to Facebook very soon.
If you want information on the website, see me. I got to work out, I mean, the limits what we can put up. I'm still not fully clear of like what the problem was, and so I'm cautious about what I can still do. But if you want information put on there, I can put it up, so get in contact with me.
I don't have access to the website.
You don't?
No.
Is it not going?
It's still server default page.
So it's still a shaky business.
Yeah.
It was okay before I came to this meeting.
I can get into the forum.
Okay,
to
interesting.
The bulletin board, but I can't get to the. I haven't been able to get to occupyns.org in 3 days, 4 days.
I've been on it for the last 3 days.
Maybe I'll Google it then try to go to it.
I was on just before the meeting and it was...
As far as I was aware, it was working again. Another thing I put up some more photos as well, which are just my personal photos, but I thought it would be nice if, we only
Did
had
you
photos
crash
from
it
the first
again?
2 days. No, that was before the crash. Possibly a quarter. There would be 3 GAs a week and one more, so four GAs, one of which is more like a working group council like this one, and the days suggested were going to be Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday? Yeah, with the working group one on the Thursday. The idea being that then we could have that following a GA, and so we would have had normal GA business sort of the night before, and the next day we can come in and just sort out working group stuff. Does that make sense? Main point is that to be a main working group, you have a float, you have to have a meeting scheduled once a week that we can distribute out so people can come.
So the value of this, I think, is that if the groups, like the groups that we have now that are supposedly exist but are not meeting, will kind of get cleared out naturally. Like we'll have meetings based on necessity, and they'll be public, and we'll know who's meeting. And you didn't say this, but I know I read it, that you can have kind of subgroups where, of course, people can meet together and you know, do other work that's maybe that's necessary for a group, but it doesn't have to be a working group. It could just be something that, you know, people get together to do. But for the real working groups to have these accountable times, which are public, where people can be directed to, and then that accountability affords them the privilege of being able to receive money from the finance group. Because without accountability, people just coming for money seems problematic.
Well, it's like I mentioned earlier, we could look at have a discussion on consolidating the working groups, so we don't have 15 or 20 of them. We could work them down to maybe 5, and that way it would also work into being able to have structured groups who are able to get whatever you're calling them, the floats with the money. That way it's easier to keep track as well. It's a lot easier to keep track of 5 groups with money than it is just 20, so that would also run into that as well. And so maybe a discussion on that would be a good idea. Working group council meeting over. Check, check. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Stay strong, stay wise, you wankers. Peace.